full disclosure, this was sent to me for review. That's something I like to hear, and that's what I'll give you in this review. Sparky Studio. Yeah. Hello, this is Eric of Sparky Studio, and welcome to my review of the Phenyxpro PTAU2. If you take a closer look at this PTAU-2, you'll see the 2H. That is specifying the type of microphone system with this unit. 2 handheld microphones, 2H. The batteries included with this are AA and are user replaceable. Not rechargeable, but of course we can use rechargeable batteries. Some may consider that a disadvantage. What are you going to do if you're in the middle of a concert or something that you need to record and you need audio? That's where user replaceable is the way to go. Something I like to see. I like to see it open up. There's the battery compartment when we take this off. Now to turn this on, all you have to do is press the button quickly and it's on. Now if we tap the button, it's going to mute the microphone. But the nice thing is it's flush to the microphone, so you kind of have to try to press it. In order to press it, you're not going to... And I just press that one now. Luckily it does flash, as we can see when it's muted. And that way we know it's muted versus the unmuted microphone at the same time. It looks like it also goes on low power mode and dims after a period of time, as we just saw now. There are 4 rather large antennas included. Of course, this is not, say, high frequency. This is actually a lower frequency of 500 megahertz. Also included is a power adapter to power this rack. And here's a 6.35 millimeter cable for the mix out, if you don't want to use the balanced. And we have the adapter here to that 6.35 millimeter connection, should we choose to use that. And lastly, the user manual is included. Let's have a close look at the receiver and all the special functionality of this unit. Looking at the back end, we have 4 antenna ports, power connection through barrel, XLR left and right, so this is stereo. And if you want mono, just use the mix out, which is 6.35 millimeter. Looking at the front end, we can see this is rack mountable. You might rack it together with an audio interface such as the Universal Apollo X8. In my particular situation, I have the Universal Audio Apollo Twin X, which is not rack mountable. This can also work with a mixer. Now let's turn this on. And we are now powering this on. The view on the display is slightly different when a mic is connected because here there's nothing showing. When I turn the microphone on, that's going to change because the signal here is the microphone connected here. Now, if I were to power on the other microphone, it will be connected down here. To get into the settings menu, I'll hold down this button for a couple seconds. And to change the settings, I will turn this knob. Let's scan. We're going to start the scan to get the best, cleanest channel as decided by this device. So it's scanning all the frequencies. It decided that this channel was the best one, but we see there's no longer lines despite this microphone being connected because this is at 524 megahertz, and this is 523.25 megahertz. Now, if I want to connect this, I am going to open this up. To connect this microphone to this side, I'm going to press zinc up here, and I'm going to put it to the IR light, and I'm going to put it right against it. So let's do that. With that red window going right there, and it should zinc up, and there it is. Our signal is now showing. And now we can see my volume on here. And the battery life is showing right there, and our gain level is showing there. Let's go through more of these settings. To go through the settings again, I'm going to press the long press, and I'm going to go in here. If I press it in, we can change the volume setting. So I'll just change it to plus 15 for the fun of it for now. And let's go to another setting. Through RF. Let's go through our RF set menu. And here I can go through all the settings. See all these to which point? Let's see. Oh, it just flipped over. If I go off again, unsynced, go back again, and there it is. Press the button in, and it's stored. Squelch is an interesting one because this is the point of it muting when the signal drops too low. I'm going to change it to mid. Now, if I have it on high, which I'm going to do on high for my testing outside, where it's going to cut out, I'm going to do that on purpose because this way I don't want it to mute, and we can actually hear how much the signal cuts out. Midpoint allows it to mostly be perfect to the point it just mutes the microphone if you're out of signal. One very unique setting is called spectrum. I've never seen an audio device in this price range ever be able to scan. So let's go to play and do the scan. This is scanning for any signal interference. And if you notice, I connected the antennas because without the antennas, I can't detect proper signal interference. All the lines are here showing everything in this range, including the drop-offs. Pretty cool stuff here. Do a channel scan and see if anything shows up. Don't know, but it should be somewhere around here. What is this? Let's take a look. And there we are. Our microphone spiked the signal, just as it shows on here. If there's one feature I'm truly impressed by, it is that spectrum scan feature. Amazing value for something that actually can do that and channel scan to the best channel for you. Right here we have the volume of the transmitter. I have it at +9, that's quite high. So I'm going to turn that down a bit to default, which was +3 dB. And I'm going to change this milliwatts from 30 to 10 because you'll see in my testing, there's really not much difference unless I'm planning to go behind a building or if it's extremely a far distance away. And even then, this thing has insane range, I'll tell you. This is crazy good range. If I want to manually tune this, I'm going to go to tune and then scroll through here. And that's full numbers at a time, it seems. So we see it goes to 537, and this side will go to 537 all the way up to, as listed on the antenna, 562, where it is right now. So we might notice that the signal is kind of weak. I wonder why. It might be because the antennas are not connected. So time to do that. We can see the signal is actually good on the one side. It's because an antenna is connected. Now we have full signal with both antennas attached for this microphone. They don't just simply slide into place. There's a little notch. Line up and do a quick little turn, and there we go. And as we can see, there's a little tiny notch right there. These are not coming out. That is perfect. So it's nice and secure. To get started with the mic testing, let's try distance from the microphone. Now, one thing this is going to do is drop off really quickly. Do we notice how much the volume changed? A disadvantage of if you have someone going like this, now you got the boost in post. Now let's test the mute button. Here if any clicks or pops. And can you hear me? Can you hear me? Now we're listening, of course, if there's any pops or anything that makes it off. The mute button is and how fast and how slow it is. It seems to work in, well, real time quite efficiently. How is the battery life? Well, I can't tell you because it's showing full bars, and I've been using this microphone for hours. Literally, probably at least 3 hours. It's still showing full bars, so the battery life is really, really good, and I can't tell you how good. And this is just the batteries that came with this. I could put lithium-ion batteries and get even longer battery life than the batteries that came with this. So gosh darn, it's good. It's good. And how am I coming through? With a little bit of distance away, give me some breathing room, and let's listen to soft noise. Is there any hiss? Do we hear any difference in sound? Now, if I'm up close and personal to this microphone, the soft noise is, of course, going to be a lot less because you're not having to boost in post-edit. Please note, during the testing of this microphone, you're going to see this windshield as well as without the windshield. I use this sometimes to prevent plosives, but this is from the Shure MV7, and this foam is really thin on top. Not the ideal situation. I'll be listing in about a week or two a good foam to use with this, and of course links to purchase such foam or the name of it, because this actually works really good outside. How good? I'll show you a preview, and then I'll go back to the mic testing. 5 milliwatts. Can we hear me at 5 milliwatts power? Am I coming through still? And I'm blocking the signal. 15 meters away, which is 50 feet away, depending where you live in the world. 5 milliwatts. Can we hear me at 5 milliwatts power? Am I coming through still? And I'm blocking the signal. 15 meters away, which is 50 feet away, depending where you live in the world. Let's try an SPL test. Sound pressure level. This is an important test because it says if we can actually yell into the microphone without distortions. And if it does distort, it's not clipping. Get past that in your head. If it distorts, that's exceeding the sound pressure level, if it does. Now let's get to this. I am yelling quite loud, but I need to go louder! I need to go louder! And I didn't clip the audio to my audio interface or to my camera. But I don't want to do that again at this moment. My throat hurts. Well, it seems that this microphone passed the SPL test gracefully. Now, let's go to a podcast with a guest. So we're going to be doing 2 microphones, so let's check that out right now. We are in a room with reverb, so I don't know if the reverb's coming through or not. So that's a good test for these microphones. Now, one thing I want to talk about is Kitimat area, because no one that's watching knows about Kitimat area.
And it is your brainchild, so I'll let you get to it. With this new website venture of yours, I thought to myself, what is going to be that hook that keeps bringing people back day by day? And I thought, I haven't done news in a long time. Let's bring that back locally for people. And what I'm really enjoying with the website is those stories that normally don't get covered by people. What kind of impact is the website having for you?
Well, for me, it's actually getting more into photography and displaying more of the community than I used to not do much for photography. And a lot of people that watched my YouTube videos probably didn't see me do anything other than videos, because that's basically what I've been doing in photography, was nature, trees, and stuff like that.
Exactly, yeah.
And now I'm getting more of the community involved. And
we were in Terrace, British Columbia recently, and it was the Festival of Colors, Holi 2025. So that's an East Indian festival, and you had a bit of an encounter, right? Dealing with part of the event is colored chalk or dust, and they would throw it and really
right in the lens.
Yeah,
right in the lens. It's right there.
Yeah, so I was really worried for her. That's why I was like away on the stage, trying to avoid all that, because I knew that was going to happen. And I was there as my alter ego, Terrace Batman, in a costume. And the dry cleaning bill, it's $100 a pop at our local dry cleaner. So I try to keep it as clean as possible. Even though I'm portraying Batman, I don't have Batman's bank account. I wish I was a billionaire, but each time you're going to your local dry cleaner to clean your Batmans, you ever watch the original Batman movie, Eric?
He's a billionaire wannabe.
Here's the thing. You know what it reminds me of? The original 1989 Batman movie. There's a line where the Joker is hijacked a parade, I think, in the movie. And he has a line, and where is the Batman? He's at home, washing his tights.
Oh, we didn't tell them about the Kitimat Joker.
Oh, I wonder who that could be. He bears a striking similarity to me. Wouldn't that be weird if Batman and the Joker were the same guy? That'd be quite a plot twist, wouldn't it, in the comic books?
Conspiracy.
Turned out that the Joker was in fact Batman, and Batman was the Joker. We seem to be implying that I've done that. And yes, I have done that, actually. I've portrayed both Batman and the Joker in a production of our production.
Our production.
Mm-hmm.
Show little previews.
We could include that as well. So
the audio you are hearing from this microphone is actually connected to the microphone in port, unless otherwise specified. When using the Apollo Twin X, it is connected monitor out into the microphone port of this camera. Now you know. Phenyxpro and my Zoom F3 that's recording internally. So we're going to do this test while recording internally right from the wireless system itself. So it don't matter what you hear on the mic, we're going to see what we hear recorded directly to 32-bit float. 15 meters away, 50 feet away. 30 milliwatts, highest signal. Of course, I'm coming through. It's 30 milliwatts, highest signal. So we're going to, of course, go from 30 down to 10, down to 5, and down to 2 milliwatts in here if we can still hear me. Right now we're at 10 milliwatts and we are 15 meters away, which is 50 feet away. How am I coming through? Signal blocked, still working, and facing the signal is right there. 5 milliwatts. Can we hear me at 5 milliwatts power? Am I coming through still? And I'm blocking the signal. And right now we're at 2 milliwatts, the lowest power possible. And I'm going to turn the camera facing this way. Let's now block the signal and see at what point we lose me, which I expect to be lost at any point in time, because I'm actually covering the signal, and there's no reason something at low power like this should showing any signal at this crazy 50 meters just about. We are not 50 meters yet, and now we are approaching 50 meters away right now, and that's 50. And now there's no way to hear me because it just won't make sense. They can hear me at this distance away. We're now at the 10 milliwatt setting, and I, of course, as always, hard powered off the unit after turning the setting, and I hard powered off the microphone to make sure the test is accurate. And that's the best wireless mic ever tested, is about 150 feet away. So already there. And right now we're going around the building and seeing if we exceed any other wireless mic system we tested to see the signals going through. And is it working? Is it working? Let's give a quick run to the corner and get back on camera so we can do the highest power test, the most impressive, hopefully, because I have no idea about the results. There is no head earphone mount. With the highest power, 30 milliwatts, this is the most aggressive test I've ever done with any other wireless mic system, going around the building, and see if this actually gets reception or not. And we are now approaching 50 meters right down here. Now we're going around the building, no line of sight. If you can still hear me, this is a new record. We are at the furthest point of the building between anything I've ever tested, and also the first signal. A lot of walls blocking this because it's an entire building. It's not just a wall. It's a freaking building. And this building is, well, 2.5 floors because half the floor is buried on the ground in concrete. So, 2.5 story high building, multiple rooms. Can we hear me around it? I have no clue. Either way, this is an extremely aggressive test to see if signal will still be picked up. In terms of reception distance, well, even on the lowest power, I'm actually quite impressed. I could use this inside my place and have it in the lowest power without a problem. 5 milliwatts and go upstairs, around the house, whatever floor I want, and not have a problem as far as I can see, because I went around a building and I'm still getting reception. And that building was 50 meters away. Oh, wait. You want to know how much this costs? At this time, it's $419 US. That's not expensive. Not for this type of system, definitely not a rack mount system. If we're talking about the Apollo X8, which could go into the same rack mount as this, we're looking at something that's around $3,000, just around 8 of those. I could have 8 of those with 16 microphones for the price of that one audio interface. When it comes to the Phenyxpro PTAU2, I plan to keep this long term. I find it just too good not to, because I'm going to want to use this outside, honestly. I can put this in my room and walk outside and go ways away, and that's impressive. Now, we got to note the fact that you got to hold it close up, or if you go close to far away, it's going to drop in volume quickly. An advantage as well as a disadvantage. An advantage of that's going to block all the sound around it, and you're going to get cleaner sound. In fact, if you watch that little part in this video, I showed the NTG5 versus this outside, and the NTG5 had a bunch of environmental sound, and this was cleaner. Power. Am I coming through still? And I'm blocking the signal. Power. Am I coming through still? And I'm blocking the signal. Absolutely impressive. Now, what I want to do is find the right foam or firm up for this. I'll list it in the comments below once I figure it out. Phenyxpro, you should have your own foam or fur because, yeah, this is a good mic. Until next time, this is Eric of Spark E Studio. Thanks for watching and have yourselves a most wonderful day. You can get a lot of self noise if you're editing and post. If you turn the volume down on the unit, I recommend keeping the volume up on this unit, so you don't have to up the volume in post and get yourself more self-noise. My experience using 10 milliwatts versus 30 milliwatts, especially indoors, was better, at least from what I could tell, indoors, and I did a scan to let it update the channel to the best, cleanest channel. And that gave me a much better experience than the out-of-box experience, at least for me.
All right, so we're testing it now, or are we actually recording
right now?
It's actually recording. All right, so this is your review, Eric. What are we doing here?
Signal interference will cause signal noise. So there we go. And I want all of you to have the best experience possible.